I'm Matt Lorch with GeekWire Studios, and we are absolutely thrilled to be here at Smartsheet Engage 2022. And I am so glad to be joined by Maya Draisin, Chief Brand Officer at Time. So good to see you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so fun to be here live.
Maya, tell me a little bit about your role and what you do at Time.
I am the Chief Brand Officer for Time, so I have the great fortune of taking a brand that everyone knows about and for the last 100 years and figuring out how we position it for the next.
I'm curious about your experience here at Gage. Any light bulb moments for you?
Well, I love Engage. I have to say my first day at Time was actually at Engage 3 years ago, so it has a very special place in my heart, and I know it's been hard with not having it live, so it's just amazing to feel this energy and also to see, and the crowd was incredible, loved them, and then to see all of the progress that Smartsheet is making. I mean, they already have an incredible product, and then to stand up there and announce all of these new features, which got all the claps, and it's incredible.
You hit on the point that it's good to be back in person.
It is good to be back in person.
And we're doing this interview in September of 2022, and I'm just wondering what your workplace looks like. Are you guys back in the office? Are you hybrid? You do have a global presence, correct?
We do. We have people all over the world, and we're very hybrid. We have a fantastic office in New York City and Hong Kong and Singapore. So we have offices in London as well. So we have offices all over the place, but we are definitely hybrid at this point. It's so nice to get back into the office, to see people, to have those little moments where you, at the water cooler, as they would say, although it's more of a coffee bar, I guess. But it's also nice. I mean, I have to say that the remote work has really opened up the opportunity, and I recently just moved back to San Francisco, and I am able to do that and just go back and forth to New York. So I think it really has made a huge difference.
You know, so many of us think about Time as this magazine. I got to tell you, Time was my first adult magazine. It was when I was a kid, a teenager, and I've read it my whole life, and I continue to read it. And I think we think of Time as this iconic media brand, but the landscape, it has changed so much. So how do you view the landscape? Not just how it's changed over the last 10 years, but just how it's changed over the last few years.
Well, I love hearing those stories, and everyone has a Time story, and it really is such an incredible cross-generational brand, which is one of my favorite pieces. Like, you may have your own memory of it, you may have a memory with your family. But as you note, things have changed so much, and it's really about how we deliver. And so people do think of the iconic magazine, but you know, we have 100 million people reading us online, both at time.com and socially every month. And then you may or may not know that we have Time Studios, which does films for some of the biggest players. So if you saw the Kanye Netflix show, that was a Time Studios production. We've been getting into Web3, which has been super fun. We sold over 20,000 NFTs over the last 18 months. And then today we announced a platform to help any size business get into taking positive climate action.
Can we continue to drive down the road,
yes.
this fascinating road to the future?
I'm in.
So as we, drive 85 miles an hour down that road, where is Time headed with your offerings beyond this traditional printed magazine?
I mean, the thing about Time is it has permission to play in so many places. We're guided by another reason I love Time is we're really values driven and values based. You know, we're owned by Mark and Lynn Benioff, who are on record as saying business is the greatest platform for change, and Time is a great platform for that. So, and we are known for, we'll hold the kernel of our being the world's most trusted storyteller and take that wherever things may go.
I want to talk a little bit about technology and software. How do you see collaborative technology at Time as you look to transform your brand and your business?
I mean, collaboration is such a key piece of how one works these days, especially in an organization like Time. As you mentioned, we're all over the world, so some of it is just about working with colleagues who are far, in Asia and in London and all over the world. So that is huge, and technology enables our ability to keep things all in one place, to keep communication consistent and in real time.
I'm curious about how you were first introduced to Smartsheet. How did that process play out?
As in many organizations, different people bring different tools that they find useful, and we actually also used it in the job that I was in prior. So I was happy to see people using it at Smartsheet, and then it's really fun to see people learn additional features all the time and put those to work in tools that really make us more effective and be able to act more quickly.
Can we go a bit deeper on that?
Of course.
Just curious how you utilize Smartsheet at Time and how your team uses it in day-to-day operations.
So I gave one example this morning too about the Queen's recent passing. As you can imagine, that's one of those. I mean, Time is known for covering the most historic moments in time, and obviously after a 70-year reign, this is one of them. And so it's really amazing to see how it mobilizes the entire organization into telling that story. And so, we use Smartsheet to pull together everything we've ever created about Queen Elizabeth into one place where people could go and comment on, and figure out what the best, most iconic, most beautiful assets were, and then and how to share them across all our various channels, whether they're photographs, articles, or video.
I love that because you are multimedia, and the best stories are collaborations,
Absolutely.
right? It's bringing people together, getting their passions, understanding their different points of views to tell that incredible story.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, Maya, what were you guys using, and you may not know, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what software were you using before? How were you kind of collaborating before, and how's that changed with Smartsheet?
Well, I think, obviously a lot of Google Suite stuff, as you can imagine. And then there were, there are so many different collaboration tools that people use. And I think for various reasons. And I think, getting an organization to center in on a single tool so that you're not like, team over here is using X and team over here is using Y. Let's all use Smartsheet. That's a process, but it really makes for a much more efficient organization.
You guys at Time have a birthday coming up.
Yes, we do.
Can we talk about this birthday?
Thank you. I was hoping you wouldn't ask. We are turning 100 next year.
100 years.
100.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So as you look toward the future, the next 100 years, how do you keep your offerings relevant to a modern audience, but also say, okay, we really want to look into the future and make sure that we're capturing that audience for the long term?
That is the question, and it really is about bringing the things that people love most and count on most, which for us is trusted storytelling, and telling human stories and bringing those into the future in ways that surprise and delight.
Maya, what advice would you offer someone who's trying to promote a better way of working or change within a large organization?
I think the first thing is collaboration is everything these days. And the days of being able to make autonomous decisions and have those be the best result, I think certainly in an organization like ours are long gone. And the differing perspectives are what makes things fantastic. And that can be very complicated. It can seem to slow you down. It can seem to be a pain, but ultimately results in a better product. And so and tools that can help you do that more efficiently and faster are everything.
Maya, as a longtime journalist, I have so much respect for you and the storytellers at Time. Thank you for making some time here today at Engage 2022.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure.